aspects. But let's talk about one sector. The pharmaceutical space has been in focus for a while now. In fact, there's been heavy M&A activity in that particular space. We just saw a couple of days back, Elder Pharma sold its key brands to Torrent Pharma. Even globally, there's been lots of deals brewing there. Let's get in one voice from the pharmaceutical space, Biocon. Kiran Mazumdar joins in to talk about this sector, as well as some specific news on the company itself. The company has inked a licensing pact with Quark Pharma to develop a range of therapeutic drugs. Kiran, good morning, and thanks for being with us on the show. Before I ask you about this new development in the company, what have you made of the M&A action that is hotting up in this particular sector? And you have about cash of about what, 700 crores or so lying on your books. Should we brace ourselves for any kind of inorganic acquisitions from Biocon in the near future?
Well, let me answer that question by, in terms of what you asked about M&A activity, by saying that certainly I think India is a good hunting ground for various companies. I think there's a lot of interest from multinational companies as well as Indian companies, because I think this is a time for consolidation, because India is going to be a very attractive market, but you do need scale, you do need to focus on brand building, and I think this is what is leading to this very active M&A sort of activity. As far as we are concerned, I think we are always ready to look at opportunities. I don't think at this point in time we are really using that the cash kitty that we have to actively pursue large acquisitions, because I think this money is really being set aside for developing a very, very important pipeline of products, as well as some of our capital investments that we need for expansion. So I think, from that point of view, I don't think you can hear big news from Biocon.
Okay. Kiran, good morning. Thanks for joining in. Your licensing pact with Quark Pharma, can you take us through what it means for you and what should investors expect in terms of impact on your P&L in FY15?
Well, the Quark Pharma deal is actually a very important deal, because siRNA technologies and therapeutics are becoming hot property. And I think a lot of companies who are pursuing drug development in this area are really getting very, very rich valuations. There's a lot of interest and speculative valuations, because they believe that this is a new class of drugs that will really, really revolutionize and address a large number of unmet needs. This is a very coveted technology, and I think the whole space is at this point in time a very coveted space. So I think from that point of view, we've really entered into a very interesting and unique partnership with Quark Pharma, who are actually pioneers in siRNA technology. It's a small company based out of California and Israel, and they have some very good high-end capabilities in siRNA technology, and they have this molecule which is actually in phase 2 development, so it's actually crossed some of the proof of concept hurdles. Very interesting, therapeutic for glaucoma, a huge unmet need. And I would say that although the impact is not going to be next fiscal in that sense, I think it does add to the valuation of our pipeline.
Can you give us some idea of, the financial transaction and some idea of when you will be able to milk benefits? A timeline.
Well, Lata, this is, I can't share the financials of this particular deal, but suffice to say it's a very attractive deal for Biocon. And in terms of when can we milk the returns on this, I think this is about a drug development process, and I think the market must understand that all biopharma drug development has a long gestational timeline. I think the investments we're making today will reap, very high benefits in a few years' time, but not next fiscal for sure. So I think you're looking at this as a mid-term bet, and I think it's a huge opportunity for Biocon to play in this space because the technology, as I mentioned, is very coveted, and this is a hot space.
Okay. I just wanted to go back to that point you had made, you know, the last time when we spoke to you about a slowdown in the domestic market because of that NPP issue. The latest we hear is that because many of these pharma companies have failed to agree over the margins on the price controlled drugs, some chemists are actually planning to ban some of the products from your peers like Sun Pharma, Abbott, Cadila, etc. What is the latest that you're hearing on this subject, and how many of Biocon's drugs fall into this NPP issue, and what could the impact be on margins, if any?
Well, we are, I think, least affected in terms of this particular trend because we have very, very few products under the this NELM particular category. But I would say that I think this issue does need to be resolved. I think there is a face-off between the pharmacists and what the government has mandated, and I really think it should be resolved sooner than later. Because I think at the end of the day, the people who will suffer are the patients. And I think this is very serious, and I think the health ministry and the government must resolve this issue ASAP.
Okay, some very quick factual points only, Kiran. When can we expect milestones with BMS to come through? And as well, you know, what kind of money do you expect to make on Herceptin? Basically, if you can give us an idea of how much would sales increase, not just for Herceptin, but your total revenues for FY15.
Well, you know, let me put it this way, Lata. I think we have a very exciting pipeline of products. So Herceptin is one big opportunity for us, and we're really focusing on the next fiscal in terms of our Herceptin sales in India and in a few other markets where we can launch this product. In addition to that, I think our itolizumab, which is the novel drug that we have brought to the market for psoriasis, is also gaining a lot of acceptance, and that's a product to watch for the next fiscal in terms of licensing and you know, global development. And I think more than anything else, our company is beginning to get understood. As you recently saw, there was a good market correction in terms of our valuation. And I think this augurs well for us because I think people have started realizing the huge opportunities that many of our products have in the context of you know, the limited global competition that we have in this space. So I think the insulins, the biosimilars and the novel programs, I think all are beginning to get visibility in terms of global market opportunities.
All right, Kiran, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining us with your thoughts and explaining what can spark more rallies in Biocon itself. Okay, let's stick with pharma actually.